Hey everyone, it's Justin again. In the last video, we practiced using inputs to find their output using graphs. This time, we're going to be using graphs to discover which inputs could be used to get certain outputs. For this continuous function, let's try to find where f of d equals -4. First, we need to understand what this actually means. Hopefully at this point you're starting to get the hang of deciphering function notation. This means that the input d will lead to the function's output being -4. So our goal is to find where the output is -4, then look to see what input gave that output. So can you find an output of -4 on the graph? It's this point right here. At what input does that point take place? It's at an input of -2. So then our answer is that to get an output of -4, the input has to be -2. Let's try another one. For what input is the output 2? We can look at the graph and see that this point right here has an output value of 2. So what's the input value for that point? That input is 0. So if you input 0, the function will output a value of 2. How about one more example on this graph? F of what input will be equal to 5? Here's the point representing an output of 5, and the input is 1. We can also discover inputs for given outputs using discrete functions. So what gives an output of -1? Here's a point with an output of -1, so the correct input is 2. An output of 2 comes from what input? Oh, that's interesting. There are actually 2 points on the graph with an output of 2. So which one is correct? Well, they both are. There can be multiple inputs that give the same output, just like how multiple codes on a vending machine can spit out the same snack. So there are actually 2 answers here. An input of -4 can output 2, or an input of 1 can do the same. What input can give an output of 3? We can use this point. I can't find one. There isn't a point with an output of 3. Remember, with discrete functions, we can only use the given points. So the only correct answer here is that there isn't an answer. There is no input here on the graph that can give an output of 3. The same occurrences can also happen with continuous functions. For example, what input gives an output of -1? Well, the only point with an output of -1 is right here, so the answer is that an input of -2 gives an output of -1. How about what input is the output 4? Well, there are 2 points where the output is 4, so we have 2 answers, an input of -5 and an input of 4. Finally, what input gives an output of -5? We can see on the graph that the curve never goes lower than -1, so it never reaches an output of -5. So the answer is that there are no inputs that give an output of -5. Finding inputs for an output is just like finding an x coordinate that goes with a y coordinate. Keep practicing by playing the game on our website. In the next video, we're going to be doing something brand new, performing operations on graphs themselves. See you then.